Microphone check, 1, 2, what is this? It's the 5'7" assassin in the podcast business. I am your host, Rohan Patra, the rap music plug at your service.
Here we are again at the end of a rainbow.
The Rap Music Plug podcast presented by QLC TV is the remedy to the I don't have anything good to listen to problem. Through in-depth album and song reviews, as well as artist interviews and general rap commentary sprinkled in between on all of what the mainstream and underground rap scenes have to offer, this is your one-stop shop to knowing what to add to your queue, play next, or pop into your record player. Welcome to the show. What is up, family? Today with me, I have a very special guest, the effortlessly funny, charismatic, multi-talented rapper, producer, and even skater who has been making a huge impression on me pretty much since just this year, since I heard his excellent 2020 record, Hoodrat Noir. And since then, I've encountered his incredible production through placements on the excellent Unknown Infinite in particular. You guys know how much I love that record. And then dove into his catalog a bit more, seen some self-produced rap and beats from this guy on the Bridge Strangler, just super dope record too. And now with this fantastic new collaborative record with Uncle Tim, SWAMP PHONK. So I'm pleased to welcome Virginia's own DøøF. How's it going, bro?
What it do, man? How you feeling? That was a great
feeling...
intro. That's probably the greatest intro I've ever had.
Man, you have a lot of talents, and I find that really interesting, man, because you obviously make great music, which we'll get into, but you're really good at other things. Like, you're a seriously good skater. If anybody follows you on Twitter, like, your videos are legit. Like, I was like, damn. Like, I'm not into skating like that, but my friends used to be, so I can recognize a good skater enough, and I'm like impressed. And I hear you're good at billiards too. You're like a good billiards player, right?
Yeah, man. I've been playing pool since I was a baby. My granddad was like a ringer. Hey, he never really told me any of his pool hall stories or anything, but I was fortunate enough as a kid to like be around pool tables a lot, and when he found out I had access to one, he pulled up and kind of just schooled me and like kicked the shit out of me for like a whole evening. And that one evening kind of just stuck with me. I just been like, I don't know. I'm happy you taught me because it's like a good conversation piece. It's like a king sport. You know, you could go anywhere in the world and like shoot some pool, and it's like a language in itself, you know?
Yeah, it's you can immediately command a room, go to any country, go to the bar, play
right.
It's so, and it's just so fun. I love it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's anybody can do it, but at the same time, it's like the hardest thing in the world.
So much finesse. Well.
Yeah. So it's just one of my favorite things. And then I mean, skateboarding, that was really like all I was doing before the music. Like I only got started really in the music because I hurt myself skating. So
damn.
Yeah, it all kind of like domino effects into another. The billiard shit's just always been there though, because I've went like years and years and years and years and years without playing. And then like I find myself like when I moved up to New York, like almost every other bar has a pool table, and you're just there with the skate homies, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we put our names on for the pool table," and like, "Oh yeah, I don't have a partner. You want to be my partner?" Yeah. And then like I hop on, and then like somebody's like, "All right, yeah, it's your turn." I'm just like knocking shit down, and they're like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And I'm just like, "Okay, no, I play like I said, I don't take it as seriously as the next guy," and they're like,
yeah.
That's probably what, like, because I actually compete now. So it's nice. Like, it's probably one thing that kicks me in my ass when I'm competing, because I'm wondering why everybody else is taking it so seriously. I'm just like, yo, just shoot. Like,
yeah.
You have to take a magnifying glass to every shot. But
oh my God.
It's like,
yo, I hear
take the whole 2 minutes for that shit.
I hear you also do modeling too. Is that true?
Yeah, man. You know, here and there.
Here and there, man. Damn. Yeah. How does that feel to be a model? Like, what does that do to your self-confidence? To be like, yeah, I model. No big deal.
So it's one of those things. It can feel kind of like, so when you don't have, like when you're a model without a like a agency and like a manager and stuff, it's mad bare bones, man. It's really just like a lot of times, like especially with how like the street, like the street fashion shit works, is like most models for like base level stuff are not just models. You know what I'm saying? They like do something else. You're an interesting person. You might have a particular look. You might do this, that, and the third. So you might pick up some jobs like that. I've never been fortunate enough to get to the point where like, you know, I get the agency and like all that. But you know, I'm blessed enough to have been like, you know, paid and actually booked for like my fair share of gigs and stuff.
That's sick.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like my sister was into that. Like I think it's like something that kind of is also in my family. Like my aunt and like my mom and like a bunch of people used to model when they were kids and stuff. So naturally, when they had us, like they get a bunch of pretty babies. They just like, oh yeah, well, take photos of them. You know, it's a thing that it, like my sister. Actually, how we ended up having that pool table was really because my sister, she was like very fortunate enough to like kind of kill it in the modeling industry, and she bought my mom a house one year.
Wow.
And
damn, that's for real. That's
yeah,
for real, killing
like,
it.
also we were fortunate enough, like from that, somebody bought us a pool table, like somebody bought a pool table for, because they knew I was liking it, you know what I'm saying, as a kid. Bought a pool table, and then that was kind of short-lived. We didn't stay there for super long, but it was like a nice time period, you know, to see how other people live and stuff. And naturally, that house over there, like that's actually how I started skateboarding. Because like the neighbors that I had across the street, this kid named Ryan, he used to skate, and I used to like talk shit all the time, like, oh yeah, skateboarding is not a real sport and blah 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 blah. And then he like let me use the skateboard one day, and he's like, oh yeah, my mom says we shouldn't go off the driveway. And I was like, oh yeah. And I like hopped on the board and like rode down the driveway and did like a little, like my first little curb drop.
Yeah.
And like my brain exploded. And I was like, oh shit, like I gotta go ask my mom for a skateboard. Like fucking, and then that's now dope. I'm the way I am.
So from what I understand too, though, you really made a concerted push to really formalize the idea of being an artist as recent as just this past year in 2020. So what was the main catalyst for you to do this and take this like more serious, quote unquote, step into the world of being an artist, and how has that experience been?
I mean, it feels like I kind of getting to it late, because for a long time, I was just like, you know, which for better or for worse, it's just like just taking life by the moment and stuff. And so I was just like, I was the type of person, like if me and a couple other music friends are all going somewhere to do something one week, once everybody gets in there and starts sitting down and putting their bags down and like rolling the weed up and stuff, I'm the one that wants to be out of the door with the skateboard. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a thing. It's not, I'm not going to say just a thing like belittling it. It's a thing that I've been using after high school to kind of like keep my brain filed. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't like, I was taught like just by the people that raised me, like I don't come from a background where it's like I don't come from a super musical background. Like my granddad, he gave up music to go to the military, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm used to working with my hands, basically. And so for the longest time, I've always like kind of looked at it as a hobby or put it off to the side so I could go work this job and that and whatever the hell else. And it really kind of took, like, you know, I started, the thing that probably made me start taking it like seriously in itself was like buying a 404, really. Nice. Like when I bought my first hardware that I like wanted to put my brain inside of, you know what I'm saying? Like that was when it kind of like went beyond the like, oh yeah, it's just me sitting in front of a computer looping beats up and like talking, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's like, that really pushed it. And then that kind of gave me like a new, like it put a new battery in my back to kind of like, yo, like I can actually all this stuff I've been absorbing, being around like Obliv and being around like James Dangle, like Satellite Syndicate, Best Friend, like DJ Harrison, like all these people I know. It's like I could finally take all these things like shit, like David Strange even. Like I could kind of put them in my own little light and just hash them out. And then after that, it really was just like kind of Corona is really the thing that made me kind of like have to take it seriously, because when the world is ending, that's the only money machine I had. So, but now it's to the point where I'm actually just trying to, you know, I'm trying to pace myself and actually like not like keep my brain right so I could continue to do it, because you know there's so much stuff that happens that you may or may not like that could be a deterrent from you like kind of wanting to make music. But yeah, I'm just being patient, you know what I'm saying? And but I'm blessed that people are receiving my effort to take this more seriously kind of well, you know, like if I'd have been doing this years, like if I'd have been doing this the first time, like before somebody stole my 404 before I got the first one, then I probably would be a little bit ahead. But you know, it is what it is, man. I'm blessed. I
think the way that you're talking about kind of just like being in the moment, just taking life as it comes kind of thing, and just doing what you feel like in that moment, I feel like it does translate though to better music, or at least music that I feel like a characteristic in your music that I feel really is definitive with you, because it does feel like your style is very natural, like effortless. It doesn't feel like you're trying so hard to like do something, but you do something. And you also the type of vibe where I feel like I don't like, I find it makes me want to listen closer, because it's just like I'm entranced by it, but I don't really know why. But then I listen closer, I see the lyricism, I see the little details in how you rap, some of the content you discuss. It's just very, you know, human. So like, how did you really like develop this kind of style? Did you like have different styles when you were younger that you tried out, or did this kind of was this always like your kind of bread and butter from the get-go?
Well, I mean, I think the real building block is like Doom, really, because it was like how I got started rapping was really like I was rhyming Doom verses, like I'd be in school, I'd be rhyming Doom verses, but I would say the wrong shit, but it like made sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, rest in peace, like more power. But it's really like, it's all kind of like, I'll be like the first honest motherfucker to say like most of my shit is Doom based. Like without that man, it's really not me ever happening. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like also kind of just like like you say, the way I look at stuff, like the places I've been, like kind of just spending like always like really even being like around people, like kind of being alone amongst other people and kind of just like watching what happens. And then like comedy, like I was a big stand-up comedy fan when I was a kid, and just taking everything, like, you know, like I said, just absorbing and putting it back in on like, I guess like, I don't want to be corny, but like on like kind of a spiritual level. Because at the end of the day, this is my Horcrux, you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm leaving behind. Like, you know, this is my tombstone that I'm building, you know what I'm saying? So it's really just like I don't know, like I get inspiration from like a lot of like, I mean, like I grew up like, I don't know, even like the new stuff, like Rock Marciano has been around for forever. Like, and like, I had a privilege to kind of learn about him early, like around like 2012, 2013.
Okay, nice. Right around Reloaded
like
2012,
2013. Like, you know, that's not early in his career really, but like early in
it was before he became like what he is now. Yeah. Like Reloaded just came out. I heard about Reloaded, I think 2014 or something, and I heard it like in relation randomly to like someone's like, oh, it's like Good Kid, Mad City, which I don't understand what the fuck that meant in hindsight, but
I don't
whatever.
know about all
But
that.
that's still relatively early compared to people who are getting on him now, because now he's like legend status,
Yeah.
pretty clear.
Yeah, because like in 20, like I want to say like 2013, my cousin, like the actually, and it was mad funny, like the mixer, he gave me like for Christmas one year, he gave me like a Korg analog mixer. So it's basically like a studio in a box. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got like however many, like 20 something plus hours of studio time on it, basically. And then he also gave me like a Marcy Boku and like some other thing. Like
Yeah, that was 2013. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was kind of like him. Like, so that's another dude I get inspiration from. In terms of rappers though, like especially since I started digging a lot, like the rappers I get inspired by are really kind of the homies that I have, you know what I'm saying? Like like SC the Chemist, you know what I'm saying? Like Saintly Silence, fucking like Dap Zini, like Psych Ward Family, like Prose, like all of the close homies who I get inspired by on a I guess like a rap level. But when I started digging and shit a bunch, I stopped listening to a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like when I started digging a bunch of records, it's like, yeah, now I'm like getting inspired by like old Dionne Warwick records or like
okay, I see.
Like Joao Gilberto, Astro Gilberto.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
Yeah. Nah, those are like, it's mad funny. I found the Astro Gilberto album the day that Joao died.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was like a wild like stars lineup thing. But
yeah,
and just
yeah,
like I don't know.
I can hear the doom and the rock Marcy particularly, like the Marciano and like which we'll get into when we really get into Swamp Phonk, because I feel like that's one of the things I love the most. It's like a casual, cool, but like still like you still made it into a song. It's not like you're just talking over a record. Like, but that's that thing that Rock Marciano always like. That's the meme almost with him. He's like, oh, he just like talks on a record, but he's not just talking on a record. There's so much bars. There's so much like just finesse in the way that he makes this all like kind of catchy too. And I think you have that quality too. And then with Doom, I think like, because even in like through my discovery, through my like kind of dive into your music, one thing I really loved is that like no projects really sound all that alike. But that being said, like they all sound like a DøøF record, because you either are like producing it yourself and you're producing in a particular way that is different from your other work, or you're like working with Graymatter or Uncle Tim. But the same thing that keeps it all kind of consistent is you, just like Doom, who like he has fucking the Danger Doom record. He obviously has Mad Villainy. He has his own
And
produced
JJ
like
Doom shit.
JJ Doom, which I actually really like too. Like it all felt like a Doom record, but those albums were so wildly different in sound.
That album, that JJ Doom album is really like, especially when I first started, like, so like from being like a skate rat to kind of transitioning into a rapper overnight, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of hard to find inspiration when a lot of the shit that rappers do is like goofy, you know what I'm saying? So like that was one of the main things that kind of put it, like the JJ Doom record, especially like coming off of like Born Like This and like Mad Villainy and Food and like you know, like coming from working with these heavyweights to him going and making some crazy outlandish shit with Generic Gyrell.
Yeah.
Like that shit was one of the things that kind of made, like that was the literal album that made me be like, yo, I want to make, when I work with people and everything I do, I want it to be as outlandish. Like I want to be stepping out on the ledge every time type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause like at that time when that album came out, I don't know if a lot of dudes will admit it now, but dudes was talking about this, like, oh, this is Doom's worst album.
Yeah,
And like,
totally. It was not
I
that
hate, like, there was
it
so
was not
much
that
hate that
positive.
fucking album got, but like that shit's got like a Tom York track on it. Like, what the fuck? Like Tom York made a beat for that fucking album, bro. Like, what the fuck?
He also
Like,
had Beth fucking Gibbons. Like you have Beth Gibbons on an album,
right,
and
bro.
that was a
Like, it's like,
beautiful
dude,
track, Winter
it's like,
Blues.
bro, what
Like,
the fuck is going on? Like, I was like, bro, I've nothing sounds like this, and that's like the greatest. That was like the greatest feeling that really, like, I don't know. It's really Doom, you know, like just trying to keep the energy alive where it's like, yo, I don't even know what I'm doing, but this is happening, you know. And like the reason everything kind of at the same time as me, like the initial idea is probably the only time I really ever thought about it, because the only way I feel like you can serve the purpose is to just not think about it. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of put it in the back of your head to where it's like, I don't even remember what the last shit sounds like. Like, especially when I put shit out, I go through periods of just like not listening. Like, I just put Swamp Phonk out. I've listened to it like a million times since before it came out. So
yeah,
now I'm not really listening to it too much. So I can't even tell you what too many of the songs sound like just offhand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just
obviously,
so it's really just like kind of like I a lot of times will go through a process of like kind of collaborating with myself as like a different guy. Like, I'll make something and then put it away for like 6 months to a year and then come back to it like a whole different dude. You know what I'm saying?
that's
So
so
just like
interesting. That's so
trying
interesting.
to trying to find ways to keep myself on my toes. Like I don't even, like, a lot of times I won't even sample the same record like twice. Like, even if the next song is heat, like, I'll just take it off the plate just because I don't want shit to sound the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, I do have the standard where I want everything to sound a certain way. So it's like it's a certain level of chaos and madness also involved with that shit too.
Yeah, and I love the way that you described that, the fact that you're kind of collaborating with yourself. That's a really, really powerful and interesting thought. And yeah, because it allows you to kind of like take, instead of, I guess it allows you to, instead, like, I'm not speaking as an artist here, but just what I would think is like, if you have a particular style and you're the type of artist that makes the same kind of music more or less throughout your career, like, it probably is the case where you're just like, okay, this is what I do, I'm just gonna go do it. Whereas you have like obviously a foundational kind of like set of tendencies, but you're like, all right, let me work with those tendencies and think about like as if it was another person. Because if you're doing a collaboration, you're usually talking in that way of like, oh, how can we take your style and do something like this with it this time? Like, you're taking it like a new experience, and that's what makes it feel so fresh and like in the moment.
I wanted to have an element of human nature, you know what I'm saying? You know, like, because we're constantly growing and shit, you know. So even if I made something like especially if I like it, I don't know, it's like when you take shrooms and you make a beat and then you come down the next day and you come back to the beat machine and you're like, dog, I don't know what none of this shit sounds like. Like, bro, I don't, like, it just helps to kind of like have a certain level of detachment from self. You know what I'm saying? Like, just kind of like put yourself on the sideline and kind of just let shit happen. And then when that comes back, like, you know it, like, you kind of feel that shit. And then the thing that be getting to me sometimes, like, it can drive you mad because you'll be waiting for that one lick of inspiration and then it happens and you can't jump on it like you really want to.
Yeah.
So it's weird trying to be proactive and patient at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a delicate balance. It's also about like the way it's like a lot of like a ways to capture that is about how you like organize your space and your process. For the thing is, like, if you get that inspiration, if you have your kind of like your beat machine or whatever your like machines that you're making, your computer, like all like ready to go, it's not like you have to unpack it. Like, that's right. That could make a difference because you're like, there's no barrier to entry to you to like act on whatever vibe you're feeling.
Yeah, it's funny that you're saying that because it's literally like I literally always try to keep my shit like that. Like even when I was like painting and shit, I would try to always keep the paint out and always keep something blank on the wall to where if I wanted to just lift a brush and swipe on it, I can.
That's
I
dope.
take the same level with the music shit now, and it's like it's really like my shit's kind of been in shambles because I was just in Arizona with like Prose.
Nice.
It's like I still haven't even unpacked some of my shit. Just because it was a whirlwind trip, man. Like that's a whole other story. But fucking yeah, I like right before I got in touch with you, I was like literally just like I took today and I was like, yo, I'm literally gonna like clean up the house, organize my shit to where like I'm on go, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Like everything's where it needs to be for me to maneuver type shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's important.
So from anyone familiar with your music, one of the obvious things that we grab as a listener is that you rep where you're from heavy. And most recently, artists like you, the Mutant Academy crew, as well as like obviously OGs like Nicholas F. Clips from back in the day. You guys have been like instrumental to pushing the hip hop scene forward in Virginia. And I find that area of like that area of the world and the music that comes out of it really interesting because there's like a certain level of kind of like cool grit personality that's like so fly but also just so uniquely like Virginia. Like it doesn't really compare to anything. So how would you characterize like the typical kind of like foundational style of rap that comes from there?
Well, it's hard to like capsulate it because none of the shit sounds like the same. Like you said, it's got that distinctive funk to it. And that was honestly kind of what came like how the name Swamp Funk came about. Cause I was making beats and I would put them on like whatever the fuck, like, and when the genre came up, I tried to type in like Swamp Funk. Cause like even from Richmond to the 757 is kind of like a different landscape. So, like, I mean, 757, we got like Clips and Pharrell, but I don't know. It's like I don't think any like you can't even like you would have to shuffle the deck of cards, you know, because everybody's just so left field.
Yeah.
Like even from left field, everybody's just out of pocket with something. It's just I don't know. It's like I don't know what it is in Virginia, man, but like the shit, like it's beautiful to see, you know, like because like especially to be kind of considered one of the people doing it. But like even from like coming like from Richmond to the 7-5, like in the 7-5, there's not too much like light behind it, you know, like I'm a normal ass guy walking around here, bro. Like there's not too much music clout going on around here. It's like out here people like, yo, what do you do for work, man? And it's like being able to like pay my bills with music and like tell my grandma this is how I'm like making a living is like it's really a blessing, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
But this shit, like the sound is just like it's so uncontrollable because you can go to any of these places at any given hour of any given day, and like dudes go out to Richmond and they're like, oh, yo, this is where the ill shit happens, blah 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 blah. But it's so isolated, man. It's like you got to catch these creatures in the moment, type shit. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's maybe kind of like why the music is, because like you're saying, there's like a certain uncontrollable nature. Like when I think about all of the artists I just named, like there's the only thing that's consistent is that you guys are so fucking different. And like maybe that is why it's isolated, because there isn't such a, maybe because of the fact it's so isolated, that's why there's such this kind of nature where there isn't like a common kind of like all the ecosystem that's super consistent, where like obviously I know New York is like whatever super creative and shit, but there was a time when it was getting defined, maybe I think definitely like unfairly, but as like a certain sound of just boom bap. Like that can't exist if you're all ISO and just like in your own worlds, which kind of leads it to like really genuine creation, which and like genuine unique style, which I think is really cool in Virginia.
Mm-hmm. No, it's some, yeah. This swamp, and it also part of the, like, I like Swamp Funk because I was able to come back home. There's like a mixture of the New York shit in there, but I was like, for a lot of the album, I was able to come home and like soak in the environment, you know? Because this isn't even like, I don't know, like the 7.5, like it doesn't get its light, you know? Like, I have a theory that the 7.5 hip hop landscape would have been way different if they'd have let Iverson drop that fucking rap album. Cause fucking bro, he was spitting some shit. Like, he was doing shit on that album that dudes are emulating today. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of the rhyme schemes happening to even the subject matter, how he was saying it, how he approached the track, the flow, like everything. Like it was so today. Like, you could press that Iverson vinyl up on wax and it would do numbers today. Damn. Like, I can assure you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like it's just so unspoken for it. Cause like, I've even talked to dudes from Richmond and like other parts, like, or like dudes that are kind of known as Richmond cats, and like Richmond gets a bunch of light. But like, dude was like, yo, like, you could go out, like, yo, it's no way you could go out and stand on like fucking Mercury Boulevard or fucking like Jefferson Avenue or Warwick, and like, you can't tell me it's no cold shit coming out of here. So like, me and Essie really kind of came back to try to like capsulate on this time and like highlight what we came from, you know what I'm saying? Because it don't get spoken up for a lot.
Yeah. So I wanna move now to like your beat making, because that's I think the first thing I encountered from you was your beat on An Unknown Infinite, and then from there I kind of went to Hoodrat Noir, etc. I think your sound has such like a distinct kind of warmth. It has this like strange deconstructive nature where the sounds are like warped and mutilated and just strange like that. I think I heard that mutilation term from Dan O from Free Music Empire recently. That was a great way to put it. And it's just dusty too, and I just love it. Like, what is it about that kind of vibe of your beats that you really like and that really resonates with you?
I like especially, well, if I'm making the beat, a lot of times it's like, it depends how I'm approaching it, because I got a couple different methods. I got a bunch of different machines, you know, so it depends what the machine is, but it all stems from the record. So I try to keep the beat, like, if you dig in the crates a bunch, like, I go through fits where I'm like, oh, no, there's no way I could chop this like that because people know what this record is, but I'm just overthinking it. People don't really, like, not everybody's really good with these things, and like, not everybody knows every sample. Kind of just between me and the fucking record, but I don't know, man. It's just how I learned the machine. Like the Unknown Infinite beat in particular, like, I was just like digging through Essie's records while he wasn't there. And like, Amani's like a homie of mine, so we were just kicking it one day. He was like interviewing me, kind of like what we doing now, and he heard me playing this beat and he was like, yo, I need that. And I was like, yeah, I got you. That's really how that worked. But it's really just like it's just like, I come up, when I learn a beat machine, I just come up with a formula, and when my brain gets some downtime and it can think, and I got the energy to touch the records and stuff like that, it just, you know, it just comes out like that. I do as much mutilation as I possibly can without totally taking it away from what it originally was.
Yeah, no, I feel like you capture the essence of the record, but you like put it into your doof world too. So it's like repurposed.
Yeah, I consider it like Spark Notes. You know what I'm saying? Like how you could buy a Spark Notes book on on a book that you got like a book report for. Take all the, like, I find my favorite juicy parts of the song, and I just make my little version that I'm gonna run with. And then it's crazy, man, because a lot of it, like, as crazy as I think I'm chopping it, or even if I think I'm chopping it so crazy, or if I think I'm not chopping it good enough, Like, yo, recently, like I got beats I made like months to fucking I don't know how long ago. And I've been refraining from listening to new music, and I finally listened to the new album, and like that shit sounds like the beat I just fucking made. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit, like so I'm still struggling just trying to have more confidence in my shit. You know what I'm saying? Confidence in my ability versus like what I hear other people doing.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think on the topic of kind of like confidence, before we get into the two dope collab records I really wanted to highlight, where you worked with other producers, as an incredible producer in your own right, I find it really interesting because you're talking about like needing to have or like wanting to have more self-confidence sometimes when you're making music. Like, what do you need to like experience within yourself, and then also what do you need to see in another producer in order for you to say, hey, I want to relinquish the beat making duties and trust that this guy can produce a record with me? Like, what is it about that those people that you need to see?
That's a good question because I don't always know it. I especially when I work, I like working with people that already have their own like style. You know what I'm saying? I like working with people that already have their own thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Like there are people that I like. I mean, even especially if you're my friend, I have no problem like putting motherfuckers on or anything at all. But with how the Tim shit worked, it was really kind of just like I think it was him and Prose were working already.
Yeah, and they have a record together. Yeah,
they have like two together.
Oh, they have two.
Yeah,
I him heard one of them maybe.
Two together. Prose tapped me for the first one, I'm pretty sure, and like I put two verses on the project, and then I guess from hearing that, Tim didn't know I was really a rapper until he heard that. So then he hits me up and he's like, yo, like, I got an idea. I don't know what this is going to sound like, but fucking, I'm going to send you a bunch of beats. I was like, yo, like, I already, like, one, I had no problem with it because Tim kind of chopped the way that, like, me and Tim kind of think on the same track a little bit when it comes to chopping samples. And Tim's like taste in samples is like I think his record knowledge surpasses mine by a long shot, by gravity. You know what I'm saying? Like his like I think he has more access to records, and he's just like he's quick, he's clean. You know what I'm saying? He like I love simplicity, and I love like a good choice, like a good selection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Tim checks all those boxes, so. Like, especially after it worked the first time, it was like, yo, like, all right, well, let's come back and like fucking hit him again, basically. Like, now it's like most of the other rappers, because Tim is really like the newest producer that I've really worked with. But like mostly outside of that, it's like I have to like have already known you or kind of been working with you, or like I'm really picky about the stuff I rap on, and sometimes I'll rap on something that's like not even that good, but it's like it'll bring the best of a rapper out of me. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
And it's not, but it's like it depends. Like I feel like I need to produce for myself more. But not the relationship me and Tim have is just like it's really nice because we're usually thinking kind of the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's really important. Yeah, there's an obvious kind of common chemistry going on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, on the topic of working with other producers, I wanted to get into your Graymatter collab with Graymatter, obviously. Radioactive Spinach. That record's fantastic. Came out earlier this year. What is it about Graymatter's sound that you really like and gravitated towards and wanted to inspire you to work with him?
Well, me and Graymatter are just like that's like one of my good homies. You know what I'm saying? Like that project took like maybe 5 or 6 years to actually come out. You know what I'm saying? So everything we did was in like could have been anywhere in a 5 or 6 year span. Me and Graymatter like work so well because we just sit there and do a bunch of nothing very well together too. Like I can just sit with Graymatter for hours and like we could be playing video games or just talking shit about whatever is going on in the world, politics, whatever the fuck. Like not like he's not really a politics dude, but fucking, you know, just like that's one of like the people that I can actually just be myself around that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's really kind of what drew me to him, because I think I was associated with Graymatter's younger brother, Unlucky Bastards, like before him. And I met him while I was hanging out with Unlucky Bastard and the homie Ziri. He does this. I haven't seen much of it recently, but he used to do this clothing company, Oh Shit 2099. And it was just a different time like in my life. It was like I was looking for producers to work with, and I was just moving back to Virginia from New York and stuff. So me and Graymatter were just hanging out all the time, and like he would have beats playing, and I heard a lot of beats, especially a lot of the hits that he made in the past, you know, frequent time span.
Yeah. He's got a lot of hits. Got a lot of hits recently.
I heard a lot of stuff like early, you know what I'm saying? Like I just love that dude, you know what I'm saying? So it's like working with him was like a big no-brainer. The biggest difficulty was just putting it out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when it came out, it was just like, yo, I've been working on the project for so long. I was just like, yo, let's just put it out as is, man, because I don't like to pile on too much on one plate. So then it kind of chokes out an opportunity for the progression to be heard. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like that's another one. I don't really listen to Radioactive Spinach too much because it's just a long road for that one. You know what I'm saying? Not even like just like life. You know what I'm saying? Just memories and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That was a trip. That whole record, I can't even. Like I can remember everything, but at the same time, I can't remember anything at all.
Yeah, because like you're saying, you're different people. Almost every time you approach a track.
That happened a million times on that project.
Yeah, it's over the course
6 years. 5 or 6 years, I've been like fucking 50 different people. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, constantly growing and shit. So whatever me and Graymatter make next is gonna be fucking ill. I can't wait to kick it with him. He just moved out to LA.
Nice.
I was telling him to get out of Virginia for so long, so I'm happy he finally fucking did that shit, man.
All right, man. Well, let's get into it. Finally, the great record Swamp PHONK that you created with Uncle Tim. So I think this is genuinely one of the best albums of the year, and it was an album I was heavily anticipating. Like the amount of times I heard that that fuzzy guitar loop that was like used in one of your teasers, that like you and Uncle Tim posted like a million times. I was just like always waiting. I'm like, drop that fucking release date, man. I need to know when this is coming up. But you guys took your time, and I'm glad because I had pretty high expectations, and I think they were pretty clearly exceeded with the quality of this record. So
thank you, man.
No, it's all good. Like seeing as this was your second time collaborating with Uncle Tim on a full project, what did you learn from working with him from that first time working with him? And how did you apply any kind of like tweaks or improvements to the process working on this latest record?
So this one, the last one was mixed. Well, I did all the vocals on the last one on a Korg D888. So the last one was a lot rawer by design, you know.
I can hear that for sure.
The most important part was that like, yeah, the trust was there. You know what I'm saying? Is that like, yeah, like I can like, okay, I can trust this process with this producer, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, also it's just like me and like, I spend a lot of time just talking with Tim outside of music, you know what I'm saying? Like me and him would just like we'll FaceTime and like have beers and just like fucking like chop records and like just talk about life and shit. You know what I'm saying? How he's doing over there, how shit's going over here. Cause I ended up moving and shit. I think the also was kind of like when I felt like I was in jail when I was making Hoodrat Noir.
Damn.
Cause I was in fucking like I was in New York City when the first fucking pandemic hit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so
right.
It was like that was all made as kind of the world was burning. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like Hoodrat, and then also Hoodrat Noir, I was more experimenting. I was in a more experimental mood, like because me and the homie Carenza had been talking about like making metal inspired records, like metal inspired rap records. And
That's
shit.
interesting.
So like that's why the first half of Hoodrat Noir sounds like crazy like that, because I was just inspired by like a bunch of like just punk and like metal shit. So I just picked the most like out of pocket shit that he had sent and like was like, yeah, I could do something to this. This one was more so like, I'm gonna go to my guns and I'm gonna pick that groovy shit that makes like I just went with my defaults on Swamp Phonk, and then it just also like I guess in terms of like texture, it came out smoother because I recorded it on some newer equipment.
Nice.
I recorded all the Swamp Phonk on my fucking phone. Fucking like goddamn iPhone headphones and like GarageBand and shit. Like I've been working with GarageBand since I first started. So
Wait, so you recorded Swamp Phonk on iPhone headphones?
yeah.
How the fuck did you what? How does it sound?
Yeah.
Oh, cause so like all the equipment was a lot better, so you were able to like mix it nice, I guess.
Yeah, man. As much as we hate to admit it, man, these Apple products are like very smart. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, it is true. That is true. Especially their mics, even on like those AirPods that I like to hate
Right.
on. They're good.
And a lot of me learning my shit recently has been me fucking like learning how to take the analog and put it back into the digital. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, it was just like me, like I recorded all of the bridge strangler on iPad, iPod headphones. Like I've known how to mix on that shit for a while, like really since I've like learned that I could make a beat on an iPad, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was just like I put myself in the environment and kind of was more on the go with it. I would take beats on the iPod and like or iPod, whichever. I got a car, so I was just driving to the beach and like writing and like just being on my block, talking, like associating with my neighbors, like talking to the little kids that live out here, like, you know what I'm saying? Like yeah, man, it was a more liberating creative process for Swamp Phonk.
Yeah. Yeah, like I feel like this album it feels like super human and like organic, like it's like musical vegetation from a Virginia swamp. Like that's how I could put it. Like it just felt so natural to the point where like I said, like on the first glance, someone could say like this is super laid back, low key, which I mean it is, it's calming, but I found it was so remarkable, like between you and Uncle Tim, the way you like kept things so fresh and like there was no lulls, it wasn't too samey, there was like a nice kind of ebb and flow in like the beats or like maybe your kind of like vibe rapping that like kept it just so perfectly engaging throughout the whole thing. And I love that. And I found with Hoodrat Noir, it felt more immediate. Whereas this one, because when I heard Hoodrat Noir, I was like very much like drawn in immediately. Whereas this one, I was like, oh, okay, this is good, but I just like I needed some time with it, and I found like with time, it ended up just blowing my mind. Honestly, I just loved it so much. But my question for you is like, because Hoodrat Noir was like, I think like 20-ish minutes, and this one is roughly 40. What was like, do you feel like the length, because that's a pretty significant difference. Like, do you find that you had more to say, or do you think that Uncle Tim had more to produce musically? Is that why it ended up being so much bigger?
Well, it ended up being so Hoodrat Noir ended up being shorter kind of by design because like I said, I was experimenting with like the punk mindset and like metal shit. And I was just most of that project was recorded in like a week. And then like I put some extras up there at certain points. But we didn't expect the project to end up being we didn't know what to expect when we were making it. And we were both living life. And I was just making songs up until I just felt, I was like, yeah, nah, I feel like I'm at a good point. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to dump too much into it and like kind of choke out any further progression. So we just dumped it as it was. And then when it got the kind of like word that it got, it was just like I was just like I heard a lot of reviews. They were just like, yo, I wish this project was longer. And I was like, all right, well, I'll try to give you more of that shit. And for every song on Hoodrat Noir, I tried to find something to apply for Swamp Phonk. You know what I'm saying? Like I just kept like not duplicating, but it was like I want to have an answer for Lightning Hopkins, and I have an answer for Black Six. You know what I'm saying? I'll let people determine what those are on their own, but I just wanted to have a response for every song on the prior.
Yeah,
And
no, I like the way, that's funny you say that, because I had, when I was listening to the record, I noted down that I felt like Swamp Phonk just took all of the best elements of Hoodrat Noir, but just like blew it up a bit, magnified it, fleshed it out a little more, and like the extra length just gave you and Tim more runway to kind of give a more full picture of your styles. Like Hoodrat Noir is like the short film that's super dope, and it meant it definitely, like, I would actually, like, to your point that you said, like reviews said, like a lot of reviews said like, oh, I wish it was longer. I mean, I actually don't agree with that personally. I
yeah,
feel
I
like
wish
it
it was
fit
longer.
with like, feel like the way you made it, it was best just brief. Whereas this one, like with the skits, like the starting and ending, the way Swamp Phonk, like it felt like it was supposed to be this length, and that one was supposed to be that length. Like I feel like it made sense, and I
Right.
appreciate that.
That's exactly what we wanted. You know what I'm saying? Because like we with Hoodrat Noir, we just made as many like crazy sounding things until Tim was literally like, all right, stop. Like he's like, nah, this is perfect the way it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's because like energy too is like especially because I agree. I mean, I don't agree, but like I like the way you said about how you're experimenting with punk songs like vibes, because there's a lot of tracks in that first half of that album that are really aggressive. And like I'm thinking, whenever I think of a short album being like amazing and like just being perfect the way it is, even though it's super short, is Daytona, Pusha T. That's one of my fucking favorite albums ever,
Yeah.
honestly. That album should never have been any longer than what it was, because it's legit crack. Like I put it on, it begins and ends, and I'm just fiending. Like if it was 40 minutes, like I don't know if it would have worn itself out, because it's so like to the point. Like you can't be to the point for that long. Like to the point for 40 minutes might just become, you might repeat yourself. The beats might just become way too just all in your face, and you might get like, you need this one. Like I said, there's a nice, like careful up and down, like sense of vibe that you carried over, so where like it fits. And yeah, I just love that like about the record. And like, what would you say is like, would you say that this is an improvement in any way over Hoodrat Noir, or is it just different?
Oh yeah, nah, we were saying that to ourselves before we even like dropped it or anything. Like we knew, like after, honestly, I personally knew after the first like maybe 4 or 5 6 songs I recorded for the project, I was like, nah, these songs, I was kind of weary about like competing with Hoodrat Noir, but then soon after we got cooking and we got the ball rolling, I was like, nah, this is way better. like, like, and we knew that, and we just like, we wanted people to know that, but at the same time, we didn't want to be those guys like, yo, like, yeah, no, we're doing better this time. We're coming back crazier than ever, or whatever the fuck. So we were just like, nah, we're just gonna put this shit out, and it's gonna be natural the same way it was the last time. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to rush anything, but we want more than anything for people to hear this for what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That was really the point. Like, it was like we definitely knew it was better. We definitely knew it was way better.
Yeah, and I think the only thing I even saw in lead up to this record that from you guys, either of you really, that said in any way that this is quote unquote an improvement. I think you mentioned like literally like one tweet. It was like, I'm rapping way better on this one. I think you said something like that one time, like just randomly. And I remembered that. And so I kind of had that in mind. I was like, is he rapping better this time? And fuck, you are. like holy shit. Yeah. Like that was probably like, I think Tim improved. And like I said, the way he created the soundscape, it was such a good like cinematic experience. So I props for sure he improved. But like, man, your raps, like,
nah,
I
Tim,
just felt that
the thing
comfort,
is,
man.
I feel like Tim has always been iller than fucking ever. That's the thing, because Tim makes shit in such a way to where you're like, it sounds like it's new and improved, but he probably made that beat fucking forever ago. Like, cause Tim admitted even to me, like sometimes like I'm kind of notorious for going through a producer's like catalog and picking like the oldest, dustiest thing they have.
Yeah.
And, yo, why the fuck you grab that one? I was like, I like that one. What the fuck? I don't know. So it's really like, I feel like it was really kind of the trust. You know what I'm saying? Because the last time, all those beats were already there and like kind of in existence. Tim is just that fucking ill every time, man. Like he's going to chop some beats, and like some gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a lot of cold ones in there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going, yeah. And I feel like this one he trusted me enough from chopping the last album up to where he let me be like, yo, like yeah, he really just let me cook and like pick shit out. He gave me free range of everything. He was like he gave me first access to as much shit as I could possibly get. You know what I'm saying? So when it came down this time, it was like I was just making a collage. So I picked certain shit, and then it was like I kept the track list like real silent until the last minute, because
so you were the one who was sequencing it? Like you were kind of like deleting that part of the track listing?
I sequenced, like I did that with Hoodrat Noir too. But Hoodrat Noir came out sounding that crazy because when they put out the track list before I could finish sequencing shit. Before I could like plot out where I wanted each song to go. I think I had a different order of those songs.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I have a different, like I have a way I sequence albums where it's like I don't like too many of the same sounding type energy. So when the track list came out and like I got the track list, and it was like, well, I guess I don't have to make a track list anymore because here it is. So I was like, I guess he wants to jump out the gate with like fucking like, what was it, the Black Six and fucking like Lone Wolf and like all like all the quicker like ding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was I don't know who, I think Tim might have did that, or I don't know if Ivan did that when he made the back cover, because I told him all the songs, and then I think like, yeah, I just like to let people cook and shit too. So it like things just fall into place however they're bound to, you know what I'm saying? But this one I kind of kept it low just so that I could maneuver up until the last minute, because like the couple times we were like, yo, coming soon, like coming soon. If we had dropped those release dates and track lists and shit, like 3 or 4 songs wouldn't have, like at least 3 or 4, maybe 5 songs wouldn't have made it onto that shit. So it's like, yeah, luckily we like stayed patient and kind of just like chop shit up as it, you know, as it should have been.
Yeah,
and
for
like,
sure.
Yeah, Tim really trusted me to do my thing.
And I like
and I want people, I don't like blurting out and being shit, but I want people to know that I kind of like all the shit that I released recently, I had predominant hands in most of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I orchestrated like even like, not even to get off subject, but I did a project with Jay Nice and Sadu Gold, and like everybody that talks about it's like, oh yeah, so how'd you end up working with Sadu? And I was like Sadu was a driving force in it, but when it came to actually like mixing and like making the beats and like you know, like chopping shit and like fucking putting stuff together, like I put that together. Jay Nice sequenced the fuck out of that record though. Jay Nice did his fucking thing on that record. Oh my god, like I didn't hear that. Like, bro, we've been talking about that project for maybe about like a year or two, and like Sadu, like yo, Sadu, not just like Sadu, definitely like because a lot of the beats that are on that project were just me, but a lot of the best, like basically most of the ones, like I want to say most of them, if not at least half, like Sadu gave me samples for and stuff. But yeah, no, I sequenced and like, yeah, I put 2 and 2, like just putting the pieces together, man. That's what it should be, you know, just putting like making a thing. And I don't like to think about like what I'm trying to say too much. I feel like I'm just already a person that's going to say what they're trying to say. So it's really just kind of packaging.
Yeah, and the packaging is like super important because like when like those fast-paced records of Hoodrat Noir, like I think we get that kind of energy, that more higher energy tracks on Swamp Phonk, but they fit Swamp Phonk because I don't feel like those tracks, like I think it's the one, I'm bad with titles sometimes, the one with black in the name on Hoodrat Noir. I don't think that would have, I don't think that would have fit on this record, but instead you have like more like a little more higher energy or a bit more of like more of a head nodding groove on tracks like Steel Blade that just like fit. They're just like they're all smoothed out a bit. I feel like this album's just like smoothed out.
I would say the answer that I had to the Black Six was which one was it? Golden Lungs. That was the one that I saw as like the answer to the Black Six.
Cause like, yeah, like I think the way that you manifested like high energy on Hoodrat Noir was like you said, like more like those punk metal tones. Whereas this one, it feels like the energy comes in like more of the funk and the groove, like 8 Ball, like that's a high energy track, but that's because that fucking that groove is crazy
right there, man.
And he killed that. He killed that.
SE is like, I've been telling SE. Yo, let me tell you about that, man, bro. Like, that's like one of my, like, that's like one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. That's like my brother. I say this all the time. We started rapping as like a joke, really. Kind of like we were just skate rats. And we were like, yo, what if we became rappers? Whatever the fuck. I jumped the gun and I started rapping before everybody. And then by the time I showed SC, I was like, yo, like I came up with the process, like let's make songs, bro. He's like because we would always talk about rap songs and shit. He was always telling me about shit. He put me on to a lot of shit because I didn't have a lot of access to a lot of hip hop stuff because I come from like a very Christian family and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So like I just knew what I found out, and SV was always the dude to kind of like pull me along. And then it wasn't until like I made a handful of songs, and then I like Sean, like SV was like, yo, I got a song, I got songs that I'm trying to record. I was like, yo, word, let's do it, fuck yeah. And we get to record, and he records like one song where it's like, okay, yeah, let's fucking go. Like he records one song where it's like, okay, the next song after that is just like off the fucking spectrum. Like I'm like, bro, like he that's just how he talks. You know what I'm saying? He speaks that way. So he naturally is just like, in my opinion, one of the best rappers, just because the way he looks and speaks on shit is just like that's just him. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
naturally
And
interesting.
I've been telling him I'm going through the process to try to like do what I can do to like help him package the same way I do and put his shit to the public. You know what I'm saying? Because he needs that, because that motherfucker has been like, he's one of the only reasons that I am the way that I am. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I gave him a couple beats that were not in use, and he just did that. You know what I'm saying? He, like, people, like, I got some reviews back. Somebody was like, oh yeah, I think the best song is 8 Ball.
It's
And
definitely one
I
of my
was literally
favorites.
like, me and Tim were both like, yeah, like fucking, I was like, yes, like, yeah, dog, like, that's like my personal favorite. Like, he did that, and I was like, yo, holy shit, bro, like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, yeah, okay, fuck it, let's go. Like, and I'm happy that I picked the people that I picked, for because the first one we didn't have any features, and this one it was like, especially with the passing of Doom and shit, we were like, yo, like, let's just get the people that you only see on DøøF Records to be on the project. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, like, not only see on DøøF Records, but like let's get that collection of homies that.
Yeah, like he got his what is it, Count Bass D.
Yeah,
like
Count Basie, like
obviously
Mr.
dope on his own, but we
Fantastic,
knew him from
fucking,
that
like,
Mr. Fantastic.
yeah, bro, like
Fuck
fucking
he is.
all those
Yeah.
dudes. So I'm like Tommy Gunn, fucking what is, like, Vic Stryfer or whatever his name is, dude, the Hispanic, or is like Kurt Stryfer, like the dude.
Oh, yeah, I forget his name.
He's like,
I don't remember him.
in Paris pack leeches. Mr. Thor, look at that. I was holding, yeah, bro. The dude off the one, like, all the dudes that are on the fucking the vaudeville villain, like, fucking,
Yeah, okay, you're thinking of that one. Yeah.
bro.
Louis
All
Logic
those
or
dudes,
shit like that. Yeah.
right, yeah. So it was like, he, like, when it came to the features, it was like, yo, I don't want to crowd out these people doing what they want to do on their songs. Like, yo, I was like, yo, we just gonna give you the whole piece and you do that. You know what I'm saying? That's your song. Like, that's your cameo in this project, because you know, you're the trusted hands. You know what I'm saying? So let's fucking go. The only one that came back that I did the feature on was the Rich one, the Silence one, because he just sent it back and it had an extra slot on it, and I was like, you know, I could get into this pocket. So that was actually one of the later ones that we got. Like,
no, that was a crazy
he
track.
recorded both of those songs that he did on the project, like, right after he had COVID.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Shouts out that dude. I fucking love that dude. That
Yeah, man.
shit.
And yeah, like, yo, like, you're like, yeah, I just think the raps, they all fit with those features really well. And I just think, like, even like the ad libs, man, like the way, I don't know what was the track. I don't know if it was that multi-purpose Prada shoes, but there's one where you just say like bricks, but you like, it like cuts out and you just say bricks. Like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I think
that shit makes me laugh every time. It's my favorite part of the song.
I think that was Tim Croce.
Oh, it is Tim Croce. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know why. It's just perfect. That's that Rock Marciano shit.
Like, I wanted the public to hear that song so bad. So, like right after I made it, like, I was just like, yo, like, because when I heard that beat, I was like that song is the answer to fucking Lightning Hopkins, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause like a more poetic style about how I'm, like, just speaking on my life and, like, just how the current state of my like, you know how fucking, like, in a noir film, the dude wakes up with a fucking hangover and he's like, ugh, like, fuck, like, and so, like, those are like, I actually want to make more songs like that. But the Tim Croce one, it was just like, I was already kind of coming at it, because, like, the last one was made from, like, kind of, you know, isolation. This one, I was more in, like, on my throne in this one.
Yeah.
So I took Jess to it. You know what I'm saying? Like little bitch is all about them Benjamins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, that's so, it's so clean, man. It's like, that's that Rock Marciano shit where it's like he has that tendency of being able to do shit that like no other rapper could do because it'd be corny as fuck. But you're
right.
like, I've never heard anything
shit,
like what you did.
but
And that
dude,
was crazy.
Smooth. Stuff like that, like the chorus on Tim Croce and like fucking all that stuff. That's really kind of like that's when I'm no longer DøøF, and that's when I'm just like Justice. You know what I'm saying? Like that's me. You know what I'm saying? Like because we would just sing, we would take songs and fuck them up. You know what I'm saying? And just like put the most like stupid thing we could possibly fit in that like cadence right quick. Like fucking like fucking like shit, even before the R. Kelly documentary came out, we were little kids. We were like I don't see nothing wrong with a little girl that's 9. Because we knew that he was fucking with little kids, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so like, we were always taking these songs and like fucking just like not singing, but singing to your heart's fullest content. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, that's the shit where like that was when it was like, yo, nah, I love this one because like even though I try to keep my I keep my personality in tune with my shit, a lot of times I still have this filter that only I know about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know when you're being you're being DøøF, and when you're not being, maybe they're full.
Yeah, I'm the only one that knows when I'm no longer DøøF. You know what I'm saying? Or like maybe if you know me, you know what I'm saying? Like we're friends. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that was the one where I was like, yo, that was the rare moment where I got my actual personality on audio recording. Because I don't like hearing my voice on microphone all the time.
It's so good though. That like I hope you do that more often. That was like, damn, this is different, but it worked, and it was like adds a lot of character. That's really it. Yeah, that's a lot of character.
Yeah, no, that was I want to have more fun like that because we like I feel like as artists and especially as like a grungy rap artist, we get into a position where we feel like we can't be happy because it's gonna fuck up our ability to make cool fucking music. And so that was my certain songs like that shit. Even the fucking like the Macon Street shit where I start singing on like singing to the beat at the end and shit like. Stuff like that, just actually being like just having fun, you know what I'm saying? Just
like whatever the like even that track, I forget which one, but it has like that really beautiful like some kind of singing where you're like, oh, I didn't even know this part's at the end of the track, like and the chick starts singing like that those little things are like really they're lightning in a bottle, they're natural.
That was a multi-purpose.
That's multi-purpose product use. I love that song. I
was happy. That was I think when I made that one, that was when I knew, because I was actually when I recorded that one, because the same way you were like, yo, what the fuck, you recorded that on GarageBand? Like I'm the type of person like if I got homies with me and they're like, yo, I want to fucking make some music, I'm like, all right, well, dude, I'll pull up the goddamn GarageBand on my phone. We could get the chopping shit up right now, and like. Certain homies take heed to that shit and they're like, yo, fuck yeah, let's get it. But it was one of those moments, it was just me. I was just recording, but I was like, yo, I got some shit to record right quick. I hope y'all don't mind if I do this right quick. They're like, nah, like they're like, yo, where are you going to record that? I was like, dog, I'm recording right here. Look. So I started recording it, and I think that was low key like the first or second tape. And that was when I had like the homie Skunks. I don't know if you're familiar with Skunks.
Yeah.
A little bit, but fucking dude. I fucking love that guy, man. That dude's a shit. We were kicking it, and he was kicking it with my friend, with the bass boys. You know what I'm saying? The homies like me, SC, like fucking Jay Levison, Silence. You know, we were just lamping, and I was recording, and I fucked up the first one, and then came back the second time, did that one. And I recorded that shit. And I, for some reason, felt like when I recorded it, like a certain part, I felt like I had fucked up on it. And I was like, I don't know, I might end up redoing that one. And then Skunks was like, nah, do not redo that. Like that one, he was like, nah, that sound like, I actually don't even think I said anything about redoing it. He was just like, yo, that one, that's the one. Like, yeah,
he knew.
And I was like, okay, word, bet. And then it wasn't until like I ran it back one more time and I was laying down the fucking ad libs. I was like, oh yeah, okay, all right, bet. And then fucking like fucking, I was like, yeah, nah, we keeping that one. Like we keeping that
Yeah.
one. Let's fucking go. And then like and then the fucking shit came in. I was like, oh shit, like that was literally me kicking it with my homies. Like, oh shit, I didn't know she sings like this at the end of the beat. Like,
Yeah.
okay, oh shit, that's cool, bro. Like,
That's so genuine. I love it.
My dad didn't know that.
All right, man. I love hearing all this insight into the record. And right now I want to talk about, give you the chance to highlight, is there anything, I mean, you just released the record, so if there's nothing upcoming, I totally understand. But is there any future projects or any work that you want to highlight or tell anybody listening?
I'm doing a project. Me and SC did a project a while back called DøøF
Yes.
We're doing DøøF 2. It's gonna be completely produced by August Fanon.
Yo, really?
Yeah.
Yo.
So we're
that's
working
awesome.
on that shit. I've been giving myself some time to like kind of just like create and think, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be too vocal right now. But yeah, there's that. I don't know if you're familiar with Junie, but me and the homie Junie, that's like one of my good homies from California.
Don't think so. No, I don't think so.
He's worked with a lot of people. He does like some really crazy fucking flips. He's just got like a grimy style. Like if you look him up on SoundCloud, you'll find him. Junie.
Okay.
We
Cool.
did a song recently called Hell to Mine. It's on SoundCloud. But me and him are planning on working on things, you know what I'm saying? I'm producing a project for Blast 89. Me and Ewan are talking about doing rack and shit too.
Nice.
I was thinking about making another More Junks project, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I fuck with that one. I really like More Junks.
Yeah, thank you, man. But at the same time, I want to put together, I'm going to find some time in between here to work on another self-produced project. And, you know, just trying to stay busy, man. Fucking making
That's a lot of shit you got. That's a lot of shit you got upcoming.
Yeah. So just some things on the plate, but it's just, at the same time, I'm trying to be human. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be good about it. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, it looks like you've been doing it the right way. You've been following like the creative push inspiration when it comes. But yeah, keep it natural, and I'm sure it'll lead to more success. Man, thank you so much for taking the time out today. This has been a great conversation. Yeah, I have nothing else but to say good luck in the future, and thanks for coming.
Hey, man, much love. Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, peace out.
Be safe, dude.
So this concludes today's episode of the Rap Music Plug podcast presented by QLC TV. I hope this episode gave you some fresh new perspectives on the latest rap releases, as well as a recommendation for the next great rap record to add to your collection. If you're an artist looking to level up your career, getting more gigs, album sales, merch sales, whatever it may be, I would love to help you with that by providing you artist development and writing services. So if you're interested, contact me via email at qlctv.podcast@gmail.com or hit me up via Twitter or Instagram at rapmusicplugpod. I would be honored to lend my expertise and help you grow your career as an artist. And also for regular rap fans that just want to hear more quality commentary on the genre, follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well. For exclusive content and updates related to the show, follow the Rap Music Plug podcast on Facebook to help the show grow and ensure that everyone's listening to the best rap music at all times. Follow the show on the podcast platform of your choice. Make sure you leave a review and rating on Apple Podcasts so that the show can be spotlighted by that wonderful algorithm and be exposed to more people. You can find all of this information along with exclusive playlists created by myself by clicking the link that's in the episode's notes. So that's all for today. Talk to you soon. Peace.